has Stroud. Little play action to start. Good protection. Airs it out for Collins. He's got it. One play. Touchdown, Texans.
So that is how you successfully pull off a coup on January 6th. You don't have a drunk guy wearing a bison hat storm the gates. You throw a bomb to Nico Collins on the first play of the game. It's like driving a tank. It's like flying a stealth bomber. That is how you take the AFC South by storm. Put some big coconuts on the table and just say, bleep it. We'll do it live. And your Houston Texans, after a 23-19 win over the Indianapolis Colts on Saturday, are the champions of the AFC South. What an incredible turnaround from where this team was last year to where we are right now. Talking about a team that isn't just in the playoffs, that also found their way to being the champions of the division because the Jacksonville Jaguars, frauds that they are, blew it again. Shout out to the Tennessee Titans. Shout out to Amy Adams-Strunk for helping us out yesterday. It's a great day. And if you want to jump aboard the most interactive sports talk show in Houston, you can all show long. That's what we're going to be talking about. Who gives a damn about the national championship in college football, right? It's a bunch of Yankees. These carpetbaggers coming down here, playing a game. There's no SEC. There's no Big 12. Who effing cares? We're talking Texans only today. Oh, Paul, I'd go to the flagship for that. Well, we're the fun show. I'm still a little drunk from yesterday because I've been drinking all weekend. I've been drinking ever since they took that one down, baby. Went out last night and on Saturday night in my Texans starter jacket, looking like the coolest MFer in town. Hell yeah. Sean Mapes is behind the glass. Sean, you pumped like me?
I'm not sure if I'm pumped like you, but
we need
I
to
am.
Get you pumped up.
Yeah, I am pumped. No, I'm saying I'm pumped. I just don't know if I'm at your level.
We got to get you there.
48 hours after the game, but
it has been 48 hours, and you got to keep that same level, baby. We got a show to do.
I guess yes, it still is Victory Monday.
Yeah. Victory Monday after a Victory Sunday.
Rockets beat the Bucks.
That's true. Shout out to them.
We will not talk about you today, but the Rockets did beat the Bucks.
Shout out to them, but again, it's only Texans today, baby. We're like drunk Texans radio. The Texans play here. ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. A lot of Clay Walker. Oh, man, I'm already starting to sweat. I've got the vapors. And again, you want to jump in, 713-780-3776. The turnaround, incredible. And look, the Texans have done impressive turnarounds before. Take a look at Bill O'Brien's first year in 2014. They go from being 2-14 the year before to 9-7, despite having Ryan Fitzpatrick, Ryan Mallett. There was a Case Keenum start. I want to say TJ Yates even got to play in that season. This is a lot better of a turnaround, though, because that year's team still had some holdovers from those 2011, 2012 teams. Like, right, there's still J.J. Watt. There was still Andre Johnson. Like, that was a very good team. DeAndre Hopkins was still there. Arian Foster was still there. This team did it with a lot less, I guess, names that you would recognize. And it really goes to show you just how awesome DeMeco Ryans has been. I mean, think about Saturday night. Obviously, Nico Collins, who had nearly 200 yards receiving, was the biggest star of the game. But the Texans had to cobble together an offense with 3 of their top 4 receivers out. No Tank Dell. No Noah Brown. No Robert Woods. And it really was Stroud just throwing to Nico Collins all game long. And on the defensive side of things, Jonathan Grenard's banged up. Bunch of Texans defenders were walking around, limping around in the middle of that game. And yeah, it's Gardner Minshew that they were going up against, but they held the Colts to just 1 third-down conversion, and they got that stop on 4th down when it mattered most. Now, obviously, Tyler Goodson, poor kid, dropped that pass. We'll play audio of his post-game interview a little bit later. I truly feel bad for him. I kind of wish that I wish that it was somebody that we don't like on the Colts that had that happen. I'm trying to think of who would have qualified with this iteration of the Indianapolis
T.Y.
Colts.
Hilton.
Yeah, T.Y. Hilton.
He subs in for one play and drops the ball.
That would have been great if it was T.Y. Hilton who effed it up. We were like, finally, we got one on T.Y. Hilton.
Although if T.Y. Hilton played the entire game, like it wouldn't have come down to the last play.
Yeah, that's probably true. T.Y. Hilton would have had 300 yards receiving, let's be honest, if he went up against the Texans in that one. But they were able to do it with a team that is not the team that turned it around from 2013 to 2014 under Bill O'Brien. So I don't know if DeMeco Ryans is going to win Coach of the Year. I think I'd still give it to Kevin Stefanski. And then we got to talk about Nico Collins, who I mentioned a moment ago, almost had 200 yards receiving. I mean, I was blown away by that performance on Saturday night. He's put up some impressive statistical performances in 3 or 4 games this year where he's had 150 plus. But in this game, I mean, you had 10 pounds to Nico Collins on Saturday night and told me that he was a tight end. I'd believe you. He was running people over. He was running by people on that first play of the game, the shot play that the Texans drew up. That screen pass that set up the Texans' second touchdown. Throw to the left. He ran over a couple of Colts defenders. It looked like that highlight of Rob Gronkowski running through Colts defenders a couple of years ago. Then the drive where the Texans score the eventual game-winning touchdown, he makes an incredible catch on the right sideline. I'm not sure how the hell C.J. Stroud got that ball off. Backpedaling, throws it to his right, diving catch by the sideline, and then a diving catch over the middle of the field while he was getting effing horse-collared. Holy smokes, what a catch that one was. Devin Singletary scores. Kaimi Fairbairn misses the extra point minutes after I had tweeted that Kaimi Fairbairn is automatic. And then it got a little bit tense at the end. But Nico Collins, he earned a second contract somewhere. I sure hope it's with the Houston Texans. And I can't believe, of all the guys this year, we talk about the change from last year to this, Collins is the one that has made the biggest leap forward, and it's not even close.
Yes, to borrow a phrase from the 2021 Houston Astros playoff run, pay the man.
Right.
Pay this man. Now, they didn't pay the man that we were talking about back then, but that's the Astros. The Astros don't pay anybody.
No, right, that's true.
But pay this man. Pay Nico Collins. I think that we can officially say this offseason, getting a wide receiver 1, not the biggest need.
Not the biggest need!
I think...
What a pleasant surprise,
I think
Sean.
Nico Collins can be that guy.
What a pleasant surprise. Right.
They need a little more depth because that's about all they had Saturday night. But
you definitely need to probably add somebody else, but you hope
you don't need a one.
Back.
You don't need a one. You don't need to trade draft picks or whatever. You don't need to throw a bunch of money at T. Higgins or Mike Evans. You got Nico Collins.
By the way, What would the Houston Texans draft pick be this season? Today? That's right. The Cardinals
23rd?
have the 23rd pick if the season were to end today.
But they're only getting the Browns pick.
Right. So the Browns pick, it's literally the next pick as things currently stand. Oh, so all the crying that you guys did about the Texans beating the Colts a year ago was for naught? Oh, okay. But hey, I told you, just like I told you the Texans would be 10-7 this season. But I'm not here to gloat and pat my back.
Hey, I'm just saying, if they would have given up a different pick in the Will Anderson trade, they would be now the Browns can pick ahead. No, the Cardinals can pick ahead of them.
Yeah.
You know? They can take their guy.
They can get their guy.
Whatever offensive lineman's getting drafted 23rd overall.
Right, some mediocre offensive lineman probably. Hey.
Actually, I think like a awesome wide receiver has gone number 23 like the last
every single
3
year. Oh, that's.
I mean, I don't actually think every single year, but that's normally when the Justin Jeffersons get picked, the JSNs for Seattle. So we'll see. That's what we're here to talk about. The NFL draft.
Right.
What are we
Not
what
about
are we thinking?
the Texans winning the AFC South and being in the playoffs.
Asset management.
And getting back to our traditional spot of 3:30 on a Saturday, baby. Monday Night Football on Saturday. Yeah.
I saw somewhere that they've literally played that game every single year that they've made the playoffs.
They have. Every single time.
At this point, I feel good about the direction of the franchise with CJ
I feel better
Stroud.
if they were playing the Bengals, to be honest, but yes, I feel pretty damn good about this Saturday slate and the direction of the franchise.
Long term, I don't care how many times the Texans make the playoffs. I think every year that they play on Wild Card Weekend, they have to play that first game.
This is our new Thanksgiving tradition, right?
Yes.
We get to play the Saturday 4:30 game, bitch. And on top of that, when we're talking about these Saturday games, guess who didn't end up with the game that's only on Peacock? Houston Texans! Houston Texans on a roll.
On free TV.
Going to the Super Bowl. Right, we're on free TV, baby. Saturday night primetime, just whipping that thing out and showing it to the world. That's right, guys. It is a happy day here. And if you're from Seattle and remember me at 710, guess what? We have a different vibe now. We're not talking about that stupid game. Who cares about the national championship? Your Texans are AFC South champs. You want to weigh in on it? 713-780-3776 to call in, to text in. One texter says, Paul is on one today. I'm on one every day because today is the greatest day of your life, much like yesterday and much like tomorrow. Another texter asks if I did chugging with Dylan Mulvaney. I don't know what I drank. I just drank what was offered to me. Hanging out with some Michigan folks yesterday. It's fantastic, guys. Paul Gallant Show. Up next, we talked about the Texans and what they did on Saturday. I cannot wait to revel in the pain that is being felt in Jacksonville today because they blew it. It's the Paul Gallant Show. Stick around.
Bill, obviously, it wasn't the prettiest of games.
Doesn't matter, Brian.
But
AFC South champions 2 years in a row, Brian.
Yeah, but you guys are back in the...
Doesn't matter what it looked like. Back in the playoffs. Looking forward to the playoffs.
Exactly.
Go ahead. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
AFC South champions. Not back-to-back years this time around, but it might be back-to-back years next year. Vibes are high here in Houston after they won Saturday 23-19 over the Indianapolis Colts to clinch a playoff berth, and then they got a little bit of help from the Jacksonville Jaguars today. I love that moment in Houston Texans history because I think every Texans fan knows that. Doesn't matter, Brian. AFC South champions. It's just something you can pull out of your card whenever you want to have a fond memory. And it's funny because it's probably the least liked person in Houston Texans history that's delivering that line.
Because it's so perfect about what the Bill O'Brien era was, hey, we have some criticism about, doesn't matter. Went 9-7 and beat Blaine Gabbert for the division. So above criticism. We cannot talk about this team.
We're on to the playoffs, baby. I think that was during 2016.
That sounds about right.
Bill O'Brien's juxtaposition of publicly facing the media, acting like he wasn't angry about the team and specifically Brock Osweiler, and therefore getting angry at the media while privately being angry about the quarterback situation to the point where he and Brock Osweiler nearly got in a fight in the last game of the year where Osweiler came back in is really funny.
Yes,
really funny.
Being like, I am going to absolutely ream out everyone on the team, but you cannot say that it was an ugly game because it doesn't matter. We're champs. Now, after I walk away from this podium, I will then yell at them saying it does matter how bad we played. But to you, Brian T. Smith, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. That's so funny.
Again, AFC South champs. And that's like literally the only thing. I mean, never mind. It's literally the only thing he ever did. So the only thing any coach has ever done for
win a couple of divisions
for this
baby.
franchise.
Yeah,
win the division.
Win a couple of divisions. Yeah, it's really a low bar to clear for this to be the greatest team in Houston Texans history. Couldn't it be the greatest team in Houston Texans history?
Win 2 playoff games.
Right. 713-780-3776. Right now, is this the greatest Houston Texans team in history? We're throwing hack topics out there left and right, baby. Let's go.
How will NRG Stadium handle having to add another Division South, AFC South division banner?
Where are they going to add
Because they are now perfectly spread out to where it looks like they've won a lot. But they're all, if you look closely, it's just all division championships. Will they have to rearrange them? Will they make one big banner and have all the years on it?
It's a good question, Sean. I'm curious, too. I do know this. I know that the Indianapolis Colts will be adding a AFC South runner-up to the runner-up.
Played for a chance to maybe we would have won if we would have won a game.
Yeah. So they came in third place. Runner-up to the runner-up of the AFC South because the Jaguars have the tiebreaker on them because they beat them twice. The same Jacksonville Jaguars who, man, what a choke job yesterday against the Titans. They had Trevor Lawrence threw 2 interceptions. One wasn't his fault. It bounced off of a Jags receiver. A Titan caught it. But he also did an audible at the 1-yard line to a quarterback sneak, and he stretched out. I've never seen a quarterback just be short while reaching across for the touchdown. And, like, he was just clearly short. So I guess he just couldn't figure out how far he had to go ahead or reach the ball forward. But, I mean, completely short there. So that's one of many mistakes by the Jaguars, who could not tackle the Titans. Derrick Henry, I think, had 18 for 150 or so. And it has me feeling great because it was not that long ago where the Jacksonville Jaguars were 8-3, had just beaten the Texans because Matt Amendola's attempt at a tie at the end of regulation at NRG Stadium in November hit the front crossbar. So it bounces off the front crossbar, and you're thinking to yourself, man, it's going to be really hard for the Texans to make up ground and win the division. And just like your Houston Astros, who somehow fell ass backwards into winning the American League West despite a disastrous September, your Houston Texans, despite a loss to the Jets and despite a loss to the Browns, though Case Keenum was under center, they find their way to winning the AFC South. And it means we get to laugh at Jacksonville Jaguars fans. They exist. There was this person by the name of @UCF Jaguars who put out this real hardo video after the Jaguars beat the Houston Texans. For a refresher, here he is being all high and mighty about his 8-3 Jags.
Texans fans, I tried to tell you guys. The Jaguars run the AFC South, okay? This is our division. Trevor Lawrence is better than CJ Stroud. Better luck in 2024. Have fun competing with Indianapolis for second in the AFC South. Duval.
They were competing for second in the AFC South on Saturday night, in his defense. This man, after yesterday's Jaguars loss, had a slightly different tone. And get this, he congratulated the city of Houston.
All right, Texans fans, I talked a lot of so I am here to eat crow. You guys win the AFC South. You guys absolutely deserve it. You guys were the better team down the stretch. You guys had the better quarterback down the stretch. The Jaguars straight up choked. So you guys deserve all the victory lapping, and I have to eat crow. So well done. You guys earned it. Good luck in the playoffs.
I don't accept his congratulation. I don't accept it. We shouldn't accept that. Congratulations. No, I want him to get on his knees and kiss the ring. You know, that was, it was like, oh, I'm going to eat some crow. I'm eating crow. No, actually eat a crow. How about that? Eat a crow. Eat a murder of crows. That's a group of crows. They're a murder.
I do like that the most predictable thing that we talked about on Friday's show happened in regards to Titans. Could be one last ride for Vrabel. Could be one last ride for Derrick Henry. Most likely is one last ride for Ryan Tannehill. Mm-hmm. Maybe these old dogs still got one more trick left in them.
And they did.
And it's like, also they're playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are perfectly equipped to face plant. Boom.
It's beautiful. Because to get back to here, with all the ass kissing that Trevor Lawrence got for a playoff game where he threw 4 interceptions in like the first quarter because they came back and won, and then they played well against the Chiefs. I'm so glad we're done with the national media pretending like the Jaguars are anything special. They're a middle-of-the-road football team. And no one wants to see any more of them because Trevor Lawrence is good. He's not great. He's good. And in that game, did he seem special to you? And once again, goes back to how everybody whines about draft positioning at the end of a year. Everyone thought Lawrence was going to be the greatest quarterback ever. How's that working for Jacksonville? How's that going to work for the Bears when they take Caleb Williams first overall? Sometimes you just stumble into the right guy. It is all luck, and you got lucky because you got CJ Stroud. So how about that, guys?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Now in the offseason, who's going to get their ass kissed?
Yeah.
That's right.
Should
It's
be
gonna
us. Should be us.
Get those cheeks ready, Houston.
Pucker up, baby. Pucker up, national media.
Yeah.
It's time to recognize that, Houston, we don't have a problem. We have CJ Stroud, who's a problem for you. What?
So we do have a problem?
I think. But our problem
Houston,
for everyone else.
we have a problem.
Houston, we have a problem for you. Should we add the ...
No,
for you?
I think it's the NFL is saying, Houston, we have a problem. It's your quarterback because he keeps kicking our ass.
You are a problem.
Yeah, there we go.
Hell yeah, we nailed it.
Big problem.
Only took us a couple to get there.
Throw a couple snort emojis in there.
Yeah,
we got
definitely.
an Instagram caption.
We got a couple of texts here that seem to want us to go down the road of like really hacky Houston Texans topics. Someone's asking, will the roof be open or is it broke for Saturday's 3:30 playoff game? Great question.
That should be the first question for D'Amico Ryan's press conference.
I would love that. That would be great.
Coach, got a question.
Sir, will the roof be open?
Mr. President.
Another person asked, hey, you could talk about MJ versus LeBron, or is this Texans team on the Mount Rushmore of Houston Texans teams? Yes, it's definitely on the Mount Rushmore. It's definitely on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, what? It's 2011.
2012, the Letterman jackets kind of makes it where they shouldn't be there. And then
this team.
I think since the 2019-2020 team did have a 24-7 lead over the Chiefs at one point. So they have to be on it over the team the year before that won the 9 games in a row but got blown out by the Colts in the first round. Like having a 24-7 lead and beating the Bills, that means that team's in there, 2019, and this year's team, yes. So we already got it.
Boom.
Mount Rushmore.
I was really worried for a second that we're going to have to throw in like the 02 team because they're the first one. They're the George Washington of this. But no, we got to 4 teams that made the playoffs.
We did. There's more than that.
4 teams that made the playoffs that we could be proud of.
Yeah.
2016, not considered.
AFC South champions.
Doesn't matter,
Sean,
Brian.
they've made the playoffs 7 times and they've been AFC South champs all 7 times. How about that?
That is wild. The Houston Texans have
don't do
literally
wild
never
cards.
been a wild card team.
We don't do no wild cards like y'all marks. We win the division.
That's one of those stats where it's like, that could be a good thing or a really bad thing.
Well, it's partly a reflection of just the AFC South, which could have had multiple teams in the playoffs and totally face-planted against just one.
The 7 times that the Houston Texans have won 9 or more games, they've won the division.
Yeah. That's how we roll, baby. Sean Mapes is behind the glass. I'm Paul Gallant. It's the most interactive sports talk show in Houston. If you want to jump aboard, you can all show long. Someone texted in, now if Houston beats Cleveland, they advance and get a better draft pick. Hell yeah. That's what Nick Caserio was thinking all along. That Patriots mindset.
5D chess, right
5D
there.
chess. And this idea that Caserio's leaving is crazy. The people that I was curious on Friday who actually reported that when we were at East River 9. I didn't think there was much stock in it. It was Jason LaCanfora. How did the Washington Post hire legitimately someone who has practically zero news breaking credibility? Like LaCanfora loves to post rumors, and I thought the Washington Post was supposed to be a paper of prestige and facts. Now, a lot of people would argue otherwise about them in the New York Times these days, but I thought that was supposed to be like the good paper. Interesting. Some other people are commenting. CJ's freshwater jellyfish comments, twitch.tv/ESPN 97.5. Paul, why aren't you going sober like you did when you cursed the Astros? Exactly. You answered your own question there. That was a mistake, and it was a mistake that I made not to help the Astros out. I went sober in October because I had a rough day in Las Vegas. That's what happened. I had a rough day in Las Vegas. Didn't know what happened for about 2 hours. Just went blank. Someone else on the comments section. Paul sounds like he was on the booger sugar. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I've got high energy because I'm drinking a lot of coffee.
Is that Mucinex?
Mucinex, yeah, like the Mucinex guy.
Or the thing you squeeze up the little...
Oh, like the saline...
decongestant.
Yeah, there were a lot of commercials for that during the Saturday game. Like that thing you put in your nose, it's a machine and it sucks out all the goo. You can write that as a drop if you want. Football time in Houston, baby. Are you ready to play?